in addition to everything you've just said, this character with his MAGA forces is also on a no holds barred quest to stay out of prison.
Right.
And therefore, his, you know, attempt to re-enter the White House is unusual in a sense that when you think, okay, how far would someone go? In normal circumstances, there are no limits to what Trump would do for himself.
Right.
Add into that his only final recourse to not have to pay not just for the January 6th insurrection, but for a lifetime of con artist malfeasance, which is catching up. 29 credible accusations of molestation,
Yeah.
one accusation of rape. How do you even begin on this? So that's one point. He's also trying to stay out of prison, which then ups his game in a
Yep.
kind of a desperate
Uh,
mobster type of last attempt. And then the second thing is the flip side of that is that, in my humble opinion, having paid close attention to politics now since the late 1960s, and been very involved myself with a number of presidencies, including a number of Republican presidencies, presidents I knew personally. Um, Joe Biden is not just any other president. Given the hand he was dealt, what he has done with our economy and what he has done
Amazing.
globally, I'm sorry, I rate him as probably the best president of my lifetime. I wasn't alive during the FDR. So my mind explodes because the left of the Democratic Party does not recognize whom we have in Joe Biden, and they want something sexier, younger, cuter, funner, if I can use a bad,
Right.
stupid word. And then on the right, they don't seem to be calculating in at all the desperate measures this despot tin pot little guy called Donald
Petty
Trump,
tyrant.
petty tyrant,
The
further
malignant
incited by the fact
sociopath.
that.
There are so many ways to articulate who and what he is.
But it's not even, it isn't a political contest anymore. It is like a kind of comic book, Iron Man versus some monster
Yeah.
situation. Do you want to go there a little bit just on Joe
Yeah.
Biden and what he's done?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do want to say I think part of what you're articulating is the need for the media, for journalists, for all of us to make sure that our friends and our neighbors and all of those who might vote, our family members, that this isn't a normal election.
Right.
There is a guy who's interested in immunity and impunity and retribution. That's what that's about first and foremost. The alternative is this is not a normal political horse race.
Right.
But what you have is to your point, we have a very clear picture of a president who, I mean, he came in with high joblessness. By the way, with still in the midst of a very deadly pandemic.
Yeah.
How quickly he got vaccines and arms, right? I mean, it already began to turn that around.
Yeah.
And both at the level of giving people immunization and creating the economic conditions for people more or less to be able to ride that period economically. But then he started a whole set of decision making that has gotten money into lower and middle class people's pockets and communities. We're still at just the beginning of seeing what the Infrastructure Investment Act, all those billions of dollars, which obviously the Republicans oppose, but which are now being spread around the country, which are helping many red states and Republican districts, but who are having the effect of vitalizing and energizing the economy of those communities. And literally in the last day, you had the Bureau of Economic Analysis saying inflation had dropped to 1.7%. Annualized, and the economy of the United States, both in terms of growth and in terms of declining inflation at this point, makes the U.S. the strongest sort of economy, industrialized, advanced economy in the world right now. So it's a remarkable record, and we still have this very old trope that the Republicans are somehow better for the economy.